Hi there everyone, my name is Devansh and I am the lead tutor at FinTutors. So welcoming you to this pre-scene summary, pre-scene synopsis for the November 2024 and Feb 2025 Gateway Management Case Study exam. Now, a lot of students enter through different routes to this exam. You can be from the FLP route, the exemptions route, directly taking this exam, or the traditional route. Now, whatever route you are on doesn't matter because you will be using the same pre-scene company in the exam. So for everybody, it becomes very important to understand this pre-scene company that's been given to us. And after a long time, CIMA has given a manufacturing organization in this management gateway level. Otherwise, there were always service related businesses since the past few case studies. So to mix it up, to make it a little bit more challenging, this time a manufacturing organization called Shinyglas has been given to us. Now this is a pre-scene synopsis which is very well curated and very well annotated by us. You have to simply be with me on this journey and you will 100% find the explanations very valuable and very enriching. So if you don't already know, my name is Devansh and I'm the lead tutor at FinTutors. We hold the Global Pass Rate Excellence Award for 2 years in a row. And that is why we are partnering with CIMA on a lot of initiatives, one of them being this pre-scene summary synopsis that we are getting to you. Now, on this summary, we want to very much highlight important E, P and F pillar syllabus areas. Plus, we want to give you an understanding of this company. And third, we want you to develop great arguments from this pre-scene analysis itself, which you can use in mock question writing and then you can use in your final exam as well. So this summary synopsis will help you on these three fronts: knowing your company, important E2, P2, F2 topics, and third, helping you create good arguments for your exam questions as well. Now, like I said, this is only a summary. My entire pre-scene analysis is 3 hours long. You can write to us on help@fintutors.com to inquire and get access to our full 3-hour pre-scene analysis. It's help@fintutors.com. But this is only a summary synopsis which you will still find very enriching because of the way we have presented it for you. So without further ado, let us start. Shinyglas manufactures double glazed windows and doors for installation in domestic and business properties. We already know the background of this industry because you have done my industry analysis. If you haven't already, please go back and finish the industry analysis so you'll have a great idea and great points in your mind when you are starting this pre-scene and you won't feel blank. So we manufacture double glazed windows for domestic as well as business properties. We are the largest fabricator of windows and doors in the home country of Templand. Always important to understand that whenever through my pre-scene I find something important, I find something that needs to be pointed out, I will make a text box like this and then relate it to your E2, P2 and F2 syllabus areas to ensure that these are important areas which you understand, then you revise them, and then I'll make you do mock questions on them for a full proof learning system. My pre-scene is very unique. We'll take the entire CIMA pre-scene and then we'll break it down and annotate it to the E2, P2 and F2 areas from our experience, from our years of experience, from our years of knowing what the exam asks, knowing what the exam is about. We will relate it to the E2, P2 and F2 syllabus areas and we'll make the analysis for you where you will have to not do anything except for be with me on this journey with concentration and listen to my explanations. I will do all the other things for you. So from these two paragraphs, we learn that we are a manufacturing organization, very clear. Sometimes, they give you service organizations as well. Like last time in the August exam, we had a company called Flat Hall. That was a service based company. This is a manufacturing based company. So when you are doing your E, P, and F pillar revision, concept revision, it's important to keep in mind that you are working for a manufacturing organization, and topics related to manufacturing organizations will be will be areas that rather you will focus on. But remember that you are a manufacturing organization. Since Shinyglas is the largest fabricator in Templand, you could analyze its competitive advantage using Porter's generic strategies. Because we are the largest fabricator, naturally we are doing something well. So when I go deeper into the pre-scene, I want to see, I will be inquisitive about what is my generic strategy. Am I a cost leader? Am I a differentiator? Am I an innovator? What am I? So your Porter's generic strategy is an E2 syllabus concept. That is why I've brought it up. And you could also look into corporate and business level strategies like vertical integration or horizontal expansion into other product lines or markets. Because we are already the largest fabricator in our country, so there might not be more possibility of growth, more possibility of expansion. So vertical integration as well as horizontal expansion could be something that we are looking at, and I've spoken about this in the industry analysis as well as the future outlook for this industry. Now, being the largest in Templand comes with operational risks, including supply chain risks, as you might heavily depend on certain raw materials or suppliers. So your supply chain risks, your strategic supply wheel, the risk management concept from your P2 syllabus is very evident, and all of this is brought up over here because they tell you that you are the largest manufacturer in your home country. So keeping this in mind, very important for us to, just note that everywhere we find something important, we'll be bringing it up this way and relating it to your E2, P2 and F2 syllabus areas. Now, if you are a market leader, naturally you're doing something right. But I have, narrowed down 5 things any double glazed manufacturing business must get right. So this is like a summary from my industry analysis, but I've put it over here because I think it makes more sense over here as well. So what are the 5 major things or rather any manufacturing business must get right? Quality control and material sourcing at the beginning, then an efficient production process, then obviously complying to the rules, regulations, safety standards. This was your production control. Side by side, you need innovation, product development, something new, and then customer service, after sales support. Any manufacturing business, specifically the double glazed manufacturing business, will have these 5 steps that we need to be aware of. This is true for our company, Shinyglas, as well. So as we move deeper into the pre-scene, we want to see what are we doing for quality control? What are we doing for material sourcing? What are we doing for an efficient production process? What are we doing for health and safety standards? These are points you are being made aware of at the beginning itself, so that you keep an eye out for relations during the pre-scene. Naturally, I will be here pointing out the relations for you, but it's important for you to also be aware of these situations. Let's move on. Templand's currency is T dollars. Let me adjust it a little bit. Templandian company law requires companies to prepare their financial statements in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards. F2 syllabus. If you don't have F2 knowledge, you will not be able to replicate good IFRS knowledge. So revision is the place to start with. I keep mentioning this again and again and again. Students still turn out to make a mistake on this. You are a finance manager at Shinyglas's head office. Now, the role of a finance manager is much debated. Students are not able to, pretty much understand what the role of a finance manager is. So, the role of the finance manager generally would be medium term decision making, investment appraisal, costing related decision, project management, long term finance, advising the top management. Now, if you think of all of these roles, I can very simply relate them to E2, P2, and F2 syllabus areas. Which means that to be a good finance manager, you will need to have good, solid E2, P2, and F2 knowledge. Again, taking us back to the fact that if I have not revised, I will not be able to do a good job on this exam. Because if you see medium term decision making, P2, if they were to ask you or create a scenario in the exam related to, let's say, NPV of a new machine that we are purchasing, but you don't know the concept of NPV, but you don't know what NPV means, the advantages, the disadvantages from the P2 syllabus, how are you even going to start to write that answer? So my straightforward suggestion is, if you haven't revised, then you are not going to have a positive exam experience. And I am giving you the important areas to revise. It now becomes your job to pick those areas up. It becomes your job to revise those areas. Your primary responsibilities are associated with management accounting, and you report to Martin Thwani, Senior Finance Manager, who reports directly to the Finance Director. So they are laying out the very clear structure of your organization over here. So organizational structure and reporting lines are clear. The fact that you report to a senior finance manager and he reports to a director indicates a hierarchical structure. You can analyze the company's organizational design. As we move deeper, we will try to understand the organizational structure that the company has. Is it a tall organization? Is it a flat organization? The span of control. This we will keep in mind, and I'm giving you this syllabus area to revise from E2 straight away right now itself. Next, cost control and budgeting. As a management accountant, you will likely be involved in budgeting, forecasting, cost control. So very important that you have revised the syllabus areas of responsibility accounting. How costs are monitored, how costs are controlled. It will be an important discussion for us to make over here. So when I find something important, I straight away bring it up to you so that you can make sure that you have revised the syllabus area as we move deeper into the pre-scene. So we learned hierarchical structure, tall or flat, tall versus flat organizations, what I'll revise. Next, cost control, budgeting related to responsibility accounting, P2 syllabus is what I'll revise. Let's move on. Your role is crucial in bridging operational and strategic level tasks. You are the bridge between the operational level and the strategic level. So, for example, Martin Thwani's role, who is above you, involves overseeing the financial aspects of the organization, and your inputs, your ideas that you give him, help him make better informed decisions. So you are the thread between the lower level and the top level of the organization. So your role is vital. If you don't suggest well, it could be to the detriment of the organization. So houses fitted with double glazing tend to lose less heat through their windows than single glazed homes. A typical double glazed glass will lose 10 to 15% of its heat through windows, whereas it was 70%. You can see how significant the saving was. So we'll do a cost benefit analysis here. The benefits of double glazing, such as heat retention, reduced heating costs, lower carbon emissions, provide a clear value proposition for property owners. So this is something that you can market on. Because if your benefits are more than the cost, naturally customers will want to install your product. From a management accounting perspective, you could analyze how Shinyglas can use target costing to ensure that these features are delivered at a price that appeals to customers. Now, target costing is a very clear P2 important concept. Make sure you revise it. I've just given you a scenario over here. They can tell you that we are coming up with a new product or one of our existing products. We now want to use target costing to make sure that we can make a 10% margin before we sell it to the customer. Can you explain what target costing is? You'll need your P2 knowledge for this. And I've straight away given you a scenario how it can come up. Next, double glazing is frequently marketed on the basis that it retains heat within buildings and so reduces both heating costs and carbon emissions, making it a sustainable investment for a property owner. So what are the benefits of having a double glazing glass? Reduces heating costs, carbon emissions, sustainability credentials. So these are things that our industry is currently marketing on. If I look at it from the investment appraisal perspective, double glazing products are marketed as a sustainable investment for property owners, which implies long-term savings. So you can link this to your investment appraisal techniques like NPV or payback, where customers may evaluate the initial cost of installation against long-term savings. This is from your P2 syllabus. Shinyglas could use this analysis to frame its marketing and sales strategies, showing how we deliver long-term financial benefits. So P2 syllabus mentioned here, coming up over here very clearly for us. The double glazing is also marketed on the basis that it acts as a sound barrier against street noise. It is more effective at reducing noise than single glazing. So heating benefits, carbon emission benefits, sustainability credentials, noise benefits, these are all things double glazing is marketed on. Double glazing is also quite robust compared to single glazing, which makes it more difficult for intruders to break in. So it's difficult to break as well. It is, however, still possible to break the glass in a double glazed window. It's possible, but it's difficult. So you can link all of this information to how Shinyglas positions itself within the broader market using its sustainability credentials. We already spoke about the benefits that this product has. You need to keep that in mind. The glass used in double glazing is supplied in the form of sealed units. A sealed unit consists of two panes of glass that are joined around the edges by a space bar. The glass and space bar are held together using adhesive that creates a solid seal. You'll see in the image there are two glasses. Between it is the space bar, and the air or other gas is trapped in the void created by the glass and the space bars. The glass and the space bar is joined together. There is still a void, a small void. That's where the air or the gas is fit in. And the front view looks like this. Now, it is important that the seal remains secure, otherwise moisture can be absorbed into that void, which makes the window condensed. You'll sometimes see double glazed windows with full condensation. That's because the seal has broken. That is unsightly and blocks occupants' views from the outside, Seals can fail either because of manufacturing defects or because of movement caused by expansion, contraction due to temperature changes over time. Comes in the picture of product quality and reputation. The importance of maintaining a secure seal to avoid condensation is very important. We must analyze how Shinyglas's reputation depends on our product quality. If the seal is not good, the quality is not good, the reputation of Shinyglas will not be good. This is your E2 syllabus, quality. The risk of seal failure years after installation can be linked to TQM and continuous improvement. That's where I'm bringing in the E2 syllabus. Because if you are committed to quality, and if that seal is to last for 10 years and it lasts for 10 years, means you are continuously improving. Because if this is not the case, there will be lots of returns, lots of complaints, and we'll not be able to be the leader in the market like we are right now. So this is where E2 syllabus is coming in. Next, these failures might not occur until years after installation. You don't know when the failure is going to occur. So this brings in again total quality management linked costs of quality, like I was just talking about. The cost of quality through inspections at the beginning, prevention and appraisal costs could be high, so that your future internal failure, external failure costs are low. So costs of quality is coming into the picture over here. I'm also bringing in risk management. The risk of product failure due to manufacturing defects links to risk management. If a batch of products has a high defect rate, this could lead to increased costs of repairs or replacements, impacting your profitability. So this is the risk which your business is taking in terms of quality. One very important thing I'm bringing up over here is how we could apply activity-based costing. I'm going to speak about this in much more detail, deeper into the pre-scene, but I feel it's important to bring it up over here. So we should analyze how Shinyglas could apply ABC to identify which processes in the manufacturing chain contribute most to overall cost of quality and how to reduce these costs. If we see that majority of the cost is inspection cost or installation cost or change in the setup costs, for example, if only we are using ABC, then we'll be able to identify that this activity is costing this much, this activity is causing failure, so I need to focus on this activity. So bringing in the ABC concept early, so you are thinking in that direction. This is P2 syllabus, all of it. Cost of quality, risk management, ABC. And also, if regular failures keep occurring, then there will be a risk of returns, compensations, penalties which we might have to pay, and this is your provisions, contingent assets, contingent liabilities, IFRS from your F2 syllabus. So everywhere I get a chance, important syllabus areas are being brought in to make sure that you revise them. We'll be testing you on all different possibilities through these topics in my mock questions, but first you got to revise them. The frames used to mount double glazing can be made from different materials. This is where your picture is coming in. So when you receive those sealed units, you need to mount them on you need to mount them on different frames. The frames can be made from different material. The first being UPVC. This is plastic. So UPVC is the type of plastic that can be used to make window frames. It is strong and can be fitted directly into brickwork with no need for a wooden subframe. You can see an image sample over here. So you see the glass with the sealed unit comes from outside. It's fit so that it's double, so that the double glazing is represented, and then it's fit onto a frame. This is the business of Shinyglas. Buy the sealed unit, put it as a double glazing, and then put it in a frame made from UPVC, steel, wood, any other material, and then sell it to the customer whatever they want. So I hope you're clear with the system. UPVC is supplied as a box section that is reinforced internally with galvanized steel or aluminum. UPVC is usually supplied as a bright white box section. It comes as a big box, but it can be manufactured with an artificial wood grain color and texture as well. So colors can vary. It is weather resistant and does not discolor due to the exposure to moisture and sunlight. Very clear that huge capital requirements will be the nature of this industry, as with any manufacturing industry. So your capital requirements, equity, debt, your ratios related to F2 chapters come into the picture over here. Capital management, cost of raising new capital will have to be kept in mind, because this is a highly capital intensive industry. You then have aluminum. So aluminum window frames were popular before the introduction of UPVC. First there was aluminum, then came UPVC, people switched. They are very durable, offering scope for rigid frames that resist warping and twisting. Aluminum does not absorb water, so it does not rust. It is highly suitable for any application that requires strength. So if you need more strength, aluminum is suggested. For example, commercial premises that will have large windows to discourage burglars use aluminum framework that can be fitted directly into the brickwork, but they are usually built into a hardwood frame. So hardwood frame, within it is your aluminum, let's say your aluminum base on which the double glazing glass rests. One disadvantage of aluminum is that it can corrode over time if it is in direct contact with brickwork. So also the working capital cycle will be long here because of the sophisticated material purchase. You're purchasing the material, you're manufacturing, then you're giving it to the customer. So the business cycle management will be important, and capital need is again very clearly evident in this situation. Sorry, just adjusting my screen again so that we are on the same page. Next, there is wood. So wooden window frames can be made from either softwood or hardwood. Some customers prefer wood because it is an alternative natural material. It is particularly well suited for older buildings that have wooden single glazed windows when they were first built. You want the same design, but you want a double glaze. So wood is still used. Wooden windows tend to be more expensive. They must also be treated regularly to resist rot and fungus, more maintenance. Wooden frames are made from lengths of timber that are joined together using techniques such as mortise and tenon joints, adhesives, fasteners such as nails, pegs and screws, because it's wood. It needs to be made into a window in which the double glazing glass needs to be fit. So all of this will have to be used. Industrial robots can be used to cut lengths of wood to the precise dimensions required to create the frames that fit the wall precisely and can accommodate the sealed units within them. So even in this wood frame manufacturing, there is the possibility of using industrial robots, optimizing your manufacturing process. So this brings me to the idea, why only in wood? The use of industrial robots can be used in wood, in aluminum, in UPVC manufacturing. So Shinyglas can enhance operational efficiency by automating the production of wooden frames, reducing manual labor, and this can be linked to your concept of lean operations and automation, where less and less waste is generated, more and more automation, E2 syllabus. Also, like I said, ABC, I'm bringing it in again. The production of wooden, UPVC, aluminum frames involves different cost structures, particularly in terms of material, labor, use of robots. So again, activity-based costing, because we have different products, different needs, different inputs into different products. Could be the need of the hour. Next. So just pointing this out so that the concept of ABC is clear for you and you go back and revise it. UPVC and aluminum frames are made out of preferred sections of the material. These are supplied in long lengths with standard widths and heights, like you can see in the image here. These sections can be cut to specific lengths to build the frames to your exact dimensions. The sealed units and the frames used in double glazed windows are heavy. So because you will have the glass, two glasses combined to make the double glazed, then the frame is heavy. Mechanical components such as hinges, catches, locks must be robust. So your material has to be good, but your hinges, the other mechanical material that you use will also have to be very robust and will also have to be very good quality to support this particular, just this particular industry or this particular product which you are selling. So this brings up my risk topics over here. As during manufacturing, our workers need to be careful while handling these sophisticated inputs which are heavy, sharp, can cause issues. So your product risk, political risk, health and safety risk, production related risks, even price risks, because you will have to buy these inputs, comes into the picture over here. So your risk management framework, risk mapping from the P2 syllabus, risk related decision making from your P2 syllabus becomes very important and a vital discussion in this situation. Double glazing can be used in doors as well as windows. We spoke about windows, but they're used in doors also. For example, shops and offices frequently have fully glazed doors with sealed units set into metal frames. For safety and security, commercial doors are usually made using toughened or laminated glass. Doors for the domestic market are often made out of wood or UPVC with sealed units set into the doors in order to allow light into the house. So they are used for doors as well as windows. Before I move on, you could also analyze the roles of stakeholder engagement in ensuring that both commercial, domestic clients understand the need of the products that we provide. So your customer management, important over here. And there will have to be a good communication process and flow of information between different stakeholder groups, between people in the organization itself, so that everybody understands the need to market this product to different industries. This is flow of communication, E2 syllabus. Giving you some cross-syllabus analysis, the ability to serve both commercial and domestic market highlights the importance of strategic decision making. From the P2 perspective, the help in managing the various costs is going to be important. On the F2 side, understanding the financial implications of all of these different products, all of this different capital that we'll need is important to keep in mind. So next, Shinyglas. Finally, up until now we did the introduction, we did the background of what double glazing is, then we spoke about the double glazing industry. After doing so much, we now arrive to the details of what Shinyglas does, its businesses, its operations, and all of that. So let's start. Shinyglas was founded in 1962. We have been in the market for 62 years. And we have become the market leader. Now, naturally, if any business has been in the market for 62 years and has become the market leader, then naturally we have done something right. Naturally, we have customers who trust us, our product is good, so this is your competitive advantage. That you have survived the booms and the recessions in the long 62-year period that you have been active and you have grown. It says a lot about the company that we have done something different. We have continuously innovated. We have prioritized customers. So your company will have goodwill. Your goodwill related concepts in the financial accounting concept are important. F2 syllabus. Know this as your competitive advantage. That you have been in the market for such a long time. Now, a lot of students ask me, why are we doing the pre-scene in so much detail? There are three major reasons. The first one is, without the pre-scene, you can't answer in the exam because the exam is going to be related to Shinyglas. If you don't know what Shinyglas is, you can't answer. Second, when we do the pre-seen in so much depth, you get great E2, P2 and F2 concept ideas to study. You get so many topics, important topics that you can revise and be ready for mock questions and then the final exam. Third, all of this information that we are giving you, by going through the pre-seen multiple times, you will be able to take ideas from these explanations that we are providing, these boxes that we are providing, these underlines that we have done, and then use it when the time comes in your answer to add value. For example, if you're writing something about goodwill, you can start your answer by saying, we have been in the market for 62 years. And then just go on. So Templeton's economy was growing rapidly at that time and wages were increasing in real terms. The real rate of interest, the real rate of inflation in your P2 syllabus comes into the picture here. Many householders invested in home improvements, including double glazing. Most homes at that time had poor insulation. So you can discuss how the company would need to manage our operational costs over here, and naturally we have done that. That is why we have survived. So for maintaining our profitability, we will have good systems in place. That is why we have survived these 62 years and this time of growth, this time of inflation. Now, because we are speaking about inflation, Shinyglas may have entered into long-term contracts with suppliers or customers. In periods of inflation, the real value of agreed prices can decrease. Today, $1 is worth this much. Tomorrow, $1 is not worth that much because of the inflation. So it will be very important to consider the effect of inflation in this market, because this market is directly related to the proportion of money that people will have with them and they can spend on their livelihood. This is part of your P2 syllabus. Moving on, Shinyglas grew steadily. By 1990, the company had established itself as Templeton's largest window and door fabricator. So we grew to the largest door fabricator. We started in 1962. In 1990, which means 28 years later, we became the largest window and door fabricator. So this shows that we have been able to control our costs. Naturally, you grew to the largest, people were buying from you, you were able to supply because you were able to control your costs. A strong costing system to understand the different costs is an ever-changing business is very important. Your manufacturing business related costing systems become important over here. Target costing, activity-based costing, different costing systems in your P2 syllabus. A very important discussion, a very, very important consideration over here. You must be clear with these P2 concepts. Double glazing proved to be a popular home improvement in Templeton. So there was support in the market as well. Double glazing proved to be a popular home improvement in Templeton, and the country has a mature economy and average wages are relatively high. Large numbers of people own their own homes. So this is a country with a mature economy. Temperatures vary significantly between seasons with warm summers and cold winters. So from this we understand that Templeton is a developed economy, mature economy, developed economy, they are synonyms. So people will have the interest and money to spend on such home improvements which I am offering. That is why it proved to be popular, right? The market was supportive. And I was further able to understand this because the business would have done some external market analysis, some segmentation. That is why it decided to enter this market, right? So one thing we need to remember is that Shinyglas is located in a developed economy. So it opens up advantages such as better infrastructure, highly skilled workforce, but also regulation costs, high factors of production. And it's very similar and it's very simple to know a mature economy means people have the income, people have the interest, people have the money, people have the power, people have technological innovation seek. All of this proves that Templand is a good market for double glazing. Next, temperatures vary significantly between seasons with warm summers and cold winters. So the topics of sensitivity analysis comes into the picture over here. So what is happening to your profit, to your margin if the season changes? In summer, what is your sale? In winter, what is your sale? Secondly, if I am not able to supply in winter, for example, how does my sale get affected? So what is the sensitivity of different variables to my profit, to my margins? This is where your sensitivity analysis, your payoff tables, your risk related decision making comes into the picture. Again, P2 syllabus area. The company focused heavily on product quality and customer service. Its products were frequently ranked best in comparisons of value for money conducted by independent consumer organizations, despite the fact that those products were generally more expensive than those offered by competitors. So we focused on product quality, customer service. Remember what is part of your culture. Your culture is quality, your culture is service. You are a little bit more expensive, but people still chose your products because of quality, because of service. So you cannot compromise on the same. Quality is part of our culture and you have to stay true to the same. You are using the premium pricing strategy, you're more expensive. So Porter's generic strategies, E2, P2 syllabus coming into the picture over here. Shinyglas also made use of advertising. The company invested heavily in advertising on television and in newspapers. Now, throughout the pre-scene, as we go on, we want to find how our marketing has evolved to modern formats. Keep this in mind, because nowadays everybody is using digital marketing. Is my business using it? Because that enables us to use sophisticated big data management softwares to target customers. So E2 syllabus, that opportunity is existing, right? Next, through a heavy financial investment, Shinyglas succeeded in creating strong brand awareness at a time when the internet and social media was not available. So as you can see, we have already created a brand because you're the market leader. Brand management and using the same to derive comparative advantage will be key. Your IAS on intangible assets is becoming important over here because you will have goodwill, you have a brand value, and you might also buy a business that has brand value, that has intangible assets. So your IAS on intangible assets from the F2 syllabus, very, very important. Now let's go to the manufacturing details for my company. So let's start with some manufacturing details. This is the internal manufacturing processes of our company Shinyglas, which we need to know. Now all of you, I want to clear a misconception, rather let's put it that way. We are doing this detailed pre-scene analysis for 3 reasons, everybody. Please be aware of those 3 reasons. What are the 3 reasons? The first one being to understand our company. If you don't know your company, then naturally you cannot do well in terms of answering questions. Because if you don't know your company, what will you answer, right? Second, we are doing it so much in detail so that we can point out important E2, P2 and F2 topics which you can then study and then be ready for questions on these topics when we go to mock question writing. So all of this is being done so that important topics are highlighted, and hope you are creating that list. Third, which often goes unsaid, so much detail, so many ideas I am giving you so that when you write your answer, you have lots of information from the pre-scene which you can use in your answer to give business skill marks, and your answer feels more and more like from a finance manager working at Shinyglas. That has to be the the overlook of the answer, which will only come if you know your company. That is why I am going to go through step by step of the pre-scene, so that you understand, so that you get important ideas, so that you get important suggestions. Your job will be to support me by by understanding these three ideas and then finally using this material in your mock questions. For example, if you're writing something, let's say related to quality, you can start your answer by saying, in our culture, inherently there has always been quality, there has always been premium pricing. When you include that in your answer, it tells the examiner that this person has studied the pre-scene, this person has gone through the pre-scene, and you will get marks and you will get credit for this, because it will be more business skill oriented. So these are the three reasons why pre-scene is being done in so much detail with you. So let's start. Manufacturing. Shinyglas makes its own frames at a factory in Templand. The company purchases lengths of UPVC and aluminium that have been pre-shaped to Shinyglas requirements by their manufacturers using a process called extrusion. So you will buy UPVC and aluminium which are pre-shaped to your requirement. Image is present over here. The resulting extrusions are supplied as long lengths of UPVC or aluminium. Image is there for you. Shinyglas makes frames by cutting sections of extrusion to the required lengths before joining them together with your brackets and hinges. Remember, you are creating the frame. So you get the aluminium, you cut it, you add the bracket, add the hinges, and then you will add the glass. That's your job. In simple words, the shapes of extrusions are designed to ensure that the quantity of material is minimized without compromising strength. So save on material cost, but always quality. So the design of extrusion to minimize material is a critical aspect of cost control, like I mentioned. This links to target costing and value engineering, where the company focuses on optimizing cost of production without reducing the value. You can decide all of this in terms of meeting the value, meeting the cost, and then meeting the price if you have a target costing system, or if you have a value engineering team. This is in your P2 syllabus, both of these concepts, value analysis, value engineering, linking to the Porter's value chain, is in your P2 syllabus. Shinyglas recommends UPVC for use indoors and windows for houses, and aluminium for shops, offices, and other commercial properties. Now, the differentiation between UPVC for homes and aluminium allows us to perform break-even analysis to determine how many units of each of these frames we need to sell to cover our fixed costs, cover our variable costs. Because UPVC going to your houses, aluminium going to shops, offices, and commercial properties. So you can easily calculate break even, which is more because there are separate segments, what are the fixed costs, what are the variable costs, what is the break even analysis, because segment analysis is done. This is F2 syllabus. Next, Shinyglas's factory is equipped to manufacture doors and windows to meet our precise requirement. The designs are sent to the factory with detailed measurements for each door and window frame, because if the size is not right, it won't fit in the customer's house. The factory buys sealed units, already spoken about this, of the appropriate sizes and types of glass from third-party manufacturers as required to fulfill each order. So we are buying this when we needed to require to fulfill each order. We are not buying and storing it. That's not been mentioned. It's mentioned that we buy them as required, as and when required, which means less storage, less waste, which links to world-class manufacturing concepts like total quality management, JIT, Kaizen. This is in your P2 syllabus. You're not storing inventory. You order it when it's needed. As soon as it comes in, goes in production. Very important thing about our business. We are committed to world-class manufacturing technique. So we did the manufacturing part. Now to the sales. Shinyglas sells to customers across the whole of Templand, which means right now we are a local company selling to Templand only. It promotes its products through a variety of media. The company's website is kept up to date with the latest products and developments. Customers can arrange for a sales visit directly through the website. Alternatively, they can provide contact details if they wish to do so, and somebody from Shinyglas will reach them. So first thing we learn is we have a website. Remember earlier we learned majority our advertisement was in television, newspapers, magazines. Good that we have kept up to the trends in the world and we now have a website as well. So strong website management will be important, will be something that we are aware of, because this can be seen as our competitive advantage. If we have a good website, if we are storing the data on our website, if we had good app management, data management, big data management, then it will be very clear for us to be able to use this data to our benefit. This is your E2 syllabus. So I'm sure that when somebody is coming to our website and giving us the information, we are calling them. But are we doing anything else with that data to generate competitive advantage? This is your data mining topics from E2. Next, Shinyglas continues to advertise on television and in newspapers because people, read them. They have access to them. Customers are asked to recommend Shinyglas to their friends as well. And if sales leads provided by customers result in final sales, then the company grants discounts as well. So we have this sharing concept where if we are recommended to someone by someone, then we share a part of the sale that's made. A percentage is paid out. It's like a commission. But this encourages further, let's say, publicity by mouth. All of Shinyglas's salespeople are self-employed. Very, very important information coming over here. Salespeople are not part of your company. They are self-employed. They are paid on a commission basis. Self-employed means working by themselves. But for Shinyglas, they're not my employees. They are paid on a commission basis. Salespeople can earn a great deal if they work hard and succeed. The average annual commission is $55,000, which is 50% higher than the national average income in Templand, which means they are self-employed, but their salary or the money that they earn, the commission that they earn is higher than the national average income in Templand. So this is one important thing for us to be aware of. Now salespeople can earn significantly above the national average, showing that our commission-based system is effective. This leads to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs or Herzberg's two-factor theory, which is in your E2 syllabus, saying that if people are motivated, if there is a concept of performance-based rewards, if you give them the responsibility, they generally do well. E2 syllabus area. Next, the commission-based pay structure represents a shift from fixed to variable costs, which enhances my cost competitiveness. So your cost competitive model in your P2 syllabus, chapter number 1, becomes important over here, and you have, controlled your cost by having a variable model rather than a fixed model. If sales are good, you pay them. Sales are not good, you don't pay them, because that's the commission base that we have set. So the company has 550 employees, not a small company, we know that, but sales team is also strong, 550. Salespeople receive initial training in sales techniques and in Shinyglas products when they first join the company. They are required to attend further training twice a year. Sales courses are conducted for groups of salespeople in hotel function rooms located across Templand. So we often congregate our salespeople in one place so that we can have regular training. This is good. Shinyglas has an online diary system. Salespeople are required to indicate when they are available to make sales visits, bearing in mind that potential customers will prefer sales visits at weekends or on weekday evenings. So their working hours are not very, let's say, popular, because nobody wants to work on weekends. So you can see how informative this video is, and this is only the, let me say, the tip of the iceberg in terms of the details, in terms of the E2, P2 and F2 topics that we are giving you as part of this synopsis. The whole detailed analysis is 3 hours long, and if you would want access to it, simply email us on help@fintutors.com and somebody from the team will help you. But make sure you're making a list of all of these topics which I am highlighting for you. Let's continue. Now, Shinyglas's head office employs 240 people. So to manage everything, there are 240 people. You have 160 staff in your factory. The head office and factory are adjacent to one another in central city. Now, naturally, you have a factory, it will need capital, it will need financial instruments like leases, bonds, F2 syllabus coming into the picture, because running a factory is not cheap. All of us are aware of this. Next, marketing. So there is a competitive market. So now we are talking, see, up until now we were talking about the different functions. Now we have started to speak about the different departments. So marketing department. There is a competitive market for replacement doors and windows. These are expensive products and customers generally obtain quotes from multiple suppliers, naturally. Shinyglas's marketing department is responsible for maintaining the company's reputation as a reliable provider of high quality replacement doors and windows. Marketing has a substantial budget and is used to create advertising campaign. These are used to update our website content as well as broadcasted on television and in newspapers. So marketing is given importance, which is a good thing. But we have already learned that what are we doing to enhance our marketing is also an important consideration for my business. Brings me to Shinyglas's board structure. Just the board structure they have given us. If you look at the structure, you have Dujuan Yang at the top, Executive Officer, CEO. Then you have Ilyas, Rosanun, Jose, Larissa, Nathan looking at different parts of the business. So Rosanum, for example, looking at sales. Under sales, we know that we have salespeople as well as call center, like we have already dealt with. So this is showcased over here. Under finance, we know that we have legal services, human resources, financial reporting, and everything related to finance, so management accounting as well. We've already done this, but this is a diagrammatic representation of my board's structure. And from this image, it's very clear that we currently have a functional group structure, where there are different functions, and each function looks at a specific job. Finance looks at finance, production looks at production, for example. So this is good for specialization, better control. But the limitations are there are long decision-making processes. There is conflicts between departments. So in the future, there could be the option to grow to divisional structure, matrix structure as the business grows, as the business expands, E2 syllabus. carrying forward, they tell us that we have non-executive directors as well. We have Alison Hall, who is the chairman, and then we have 4 other non-executive directors, and they've just listed out their names. Why is this important? This is important from the corporate governance perspective. So if we look at the structure of the organization, we can see that the corporate governance code has not been honored. There, in every aspect, it's not been honored, because generally the board should be made up of equal number of executives, equal number of non-executives. Here we have 6 executives and 5 non-executives. So mismatch in the board. The roles of CEO and chairman is separate. That's a good thing. There is no mention of audit committee, remuneration committee, nomination committee, risk committee. So we don't know if they exist. But as part of good corporate governance, these are some important rules and regulations for us to keep in mind, because corporate governance is something that is an important discussion. So I always like to keep it at the forefront. So this was my board structure. Always remember how the business is set out, what the hierarchy of the business is. That's an important consideration. That brings me to Shinyglas's business model. Now the business model is nothing but like a synopsis of everything that we have learnt so far. So Shinyglas wishes to remain the largest fabricator of windows and doors in its home market. We want to be that dominant player still. So what will we have to do? Grow, quality, customer service, all of this will have to be top notch. And this has been broken down into 4 parts of the value generation process. Again, P2 syllabus. If I look at defining value, let me just look at the summary on the right hand side. I will ask you to read the entire boxes over here when you have the time, but I am going to go through the summary with you and point out the important areas. So how do we define value? We define value through its collaboration with stakeholders, including suppliers of material and sales people. So here I need to consider stakeholder management, different business ecosystems, and cost control, because this is where my input is happening. Creating, how do we create value? We create value through partnerships with our suppliers and contractors, providing energy efficient products that add value to customers' properties. So sustainability. So what topics do we relate over here? Value creation, quality management, sustainability, and investment appraisal over here. Because when I'm creating value, I always want to think about generating profit as well, right? Next, delivering value. So Shinyglas focuses on reassuring customers about their significant purchase decisions by using a countrywide network of sales people. Having that strong sales team, very important for us. This showcases my customer-centric approach, my digital tools because of my online diary, performance appraisal and incentive schemes because more and more salespeople are encouraged to sell in that one visit. And F2 because over here you are delivering the value, so the customer is paying you, so the financial reporting comes into the picture. And last, how do we capture the residual value? We offer discounts and tailored services to encourage customers to make larger, more profitable orders, minimizing the fixed costs by paying salespeople and installers on a commission basis, controlling the cost. Increasing customer profitability is my focus. So it's always important to stay true to your business model. I have just spoken about this repeatedly through. So now we are on to the financial analysis after all of this. The financial analysis also we do in a very unique way. So make sure you're following me, make sure you're with me. without further delay, let's start with financial analysis. This is the third part. So I like to break down the pre-scene into three parts. First, the intro, a little bit about the industry, then about our company, Shinyglas, third part about financial and news analysis. So we'll deal with everything through this summary. Be with us, you will find it helpful. Analyze on the left hand side the actual solid numbers that they have given us, the actual raw numbers that they have given us, and then we will make an analysis on it and I'll show you how my analysis adds value. So if you look at the Shinyglas group consolidated statement of profit or loss, remember it's a consolidated statement, which means already there are group companies which you have acquired and together this is the financial statement that is presented to you. So your consolidated accounting from F2 syllabus, very important over here. To make it a little bit more tricky, they have made the year ending 30th September 2024. Just to make it a little bit more tricky for you, they have put it that way. So the year end is 30th of September, not your standard December year end. It's 30th of September. So if you're doing any month apportioning, please remember year end is 30th of September. Coming to revenue. From 271 million, the revenue has gone up to 298 million. Very good. A very positive experience, a very positive thing for the business that the revenue is growing and it's synonymous with the growth in the market, with the positive growth in the market. So revenue is on the rise, well and good. Next, cost of revenue. To generate that revenue, you will have had to made more windows. But it's a very good sign that the cost of revenue has gone up only by 4 million roughly, but the revenue has gone up by more than 27 million. So what I can clearly say is that revenue went up, the costs were controlled, and we were able to control our manufacturing costs, factory costs, and hence we have a very healthy gross profit of 166.9 million. How big a company we are is very evident with these numbers. Gross profit has also grown because revenue grew, but we were able to control our costs of manufacturing. From this, you further remove operating expenses which have gone down. Very good. So further we have been able to control our operating expenses by a small percent, but still they went down. Revenue went up. All the servicing would have gone up, but still we controlled the costs. So operating expenses went down and we came up to a healthy operating profit of 116.2 million. From this, we paid finance costs of 72 million, which finance costs is pretty much the interest on the loan that you have borrowed. It has remained the same, which means no new loans were taken in this year, right? That brings me to my profit before tax at 44.2. You can see it's almost double to last year's profit before tax. It's a very good sign, a healthy sign for the business. And then we paid tax on this. Tax has increased from last year. Naturally, you make more money, you make more profit, you pay more tax. It's very standard. So more tax has been paid and that brings us to the profit for the year at 38.5, which is almost double again of last year's profit for the year. Businesses' financials are very healthy, are moving in the right direction, are very, very positive, and they are moving in the right direction. Let's put it that way. So this is a plus for the business. If you look at the financials by themselves as a standalone, you look at the financials, you'll see everything is in the green for the business. So we analyze the absolute raw numbers. Now, what I want to show you is an analysis which we have made. This analysis has been created by us to make the understanding of these numbers much more simpler for you. See, it's very difficult to remember revenue is 298.1. Gross profit is 166.9. Very difficult, right? You have so much to remember from the pre-scene. Now one extra thing that you have to remember, it's quite difficult. So what we do is give you simple bite-sized learning in terms of ratios. So it's going to be very important to make sure that we are aware of this and then use these ratios in a simple way in your answers. If you don't remember 298.1, naturally you won't include it in your answer. But you can remember increase in revenue is close to 10%. So whenever you are writing anything related to, let's say, expansion, revenue, you can say that our revenue has increased by 10%, which is a good sign, a healthy sign for the business. This will add a lot of value to what you are writing, to what you are trying to present, and a lot of value in the eyes of the examiner as well. This is free inclusion of the pre-scene and free marks that you can get. So revenue went up by 9.9%, cost of revenue went up by a small 3%, and that is why your profit went up highly by 16%. Operating costs have decreased, finance cost 0 increase. That is why increase in operating profit of 25.9%. And this gave to 117% increase in profit before tax. Your effective tax rate has gone up a little bit, I will say close to 1%. Operating profit margin went up, profit after tax margin went up because both operating profit and profit before tax significantly increased, which means my business is moving in the right direction with healthy financials. So it's now time to expand outside of Templand, right? In the Templand market, we are already a leader. To increase our sales, it's time to look at, there can be a scenario in the exam which pushes us abroad because of the structure of the business. So what I have done is I have highlighted some numbers in red. Why? So that you can remember them and use them when the time comes. I know it's not possible to remember everything. It's never going to be possible. But you can remember these important numbers and make sure that you use it when the time comes. So make sure that you go through the pre-scene so many times that you don't have to learn anything. Because if you try to learn, then you will forget. My suggestion is go through it multiple times. Keep going through it, keep reading through it, keep putting your eyes to it. Then naturally you will remember, okay, revenue 10%, operating profit 25%, increase in profit before tax 117%, almost double. You can write that also. But all of this is only possible because we are giving these ratios, giving these numbers to you as an analysis. And everything that I spoke about has been put over here in words as well, so that when you are going through the pre-scene by yourself, you have these words to read, words to refer to. Again, this is only the tip of what we are doing in terms of the financial analysis. Entire detailed comparative and financial analysis along with the news analysis section is part of our full 3-hour explanation with obviously important E2, P2 and F2 syllabus areas. But what we are trying to showcase to you is you can also dissect the pre-scene this way, gain benefit from it. But if you want access to our material, just email us help@fintutors.com and we'll answer any queries that you have. If there is any calculation that you need an explanation for, we'll answer that for you and we'll help you with the other material as well. Let's get back to it. Next, we go to the statement of financial position analysis. So, comparing ours to theirs line by line. 2024 intangible assets, we have higher than theirs, we have more property, plant and equipment than them, naturally because we are a bigger company and we are able to use our assets well to generate high revenue and to generate high growth rates. One more thing is that our inventory is very similar to their inventory. Both companies are having very low inventory standards and they are not investing very high in inventory, which means maybe again it's the scheme of this particular industry of having less inventory, and more companies are moving towards global manufacturing techniques. Maybe they are benchmarking us. Your benchmarking from your P2 syllabus becomes very important over here, becomes an important consideration over here, because maybe they are benchmarking us and maybe they are following the best possible methods which we have set to improve their own systems, their own way they function. This is an important consideration. Again, trade receivables and bank, I don't see anything alarming. They have also not issued any share capital, share premium. Their retained earnings have gone up because they also made a profit. Their loans have also remained the same. Nothing too alarming that I see over here as well in terms of this discussion. So let's come to the comparison of the financial statements. If you see ROC, both are at the same level. Non-current asset turnover, mine is better. Their liquidity position, both companies is okay, we already discussed ours, but theirs is higher than mine. So they are holding more current assets than current liabilities. So high liquidities, okay, good. The return on assets, mine is 1.6, theirs is close to 1. But the very, let's say a low probability thing for it to happen is that both the companies have the same gearing. So maybe again, this is the ideal gearing, ideal debt capacity of companies in this market, because both large companies in this market in Templand have a 33% gearing. Something to be aware of. So if I look at the overall analysis of this company and its financials, it's very, very clear that our company, my company, Shinyglas, is in a much better situation financially, in size as well as growth than Vestaglint, and we need to keep doing the same that we have to make sure we are the market leader and we keep growing. I hope you found this video helpful, and I look forward to seeing you on one of my study courses. Thank you. And for any